Hot Toys Best Sellers. Hot Toys Top 25 Best-Selling Figures in May of 2025. Guys, today we are going to rank the top 25 best-selling Hot Toys so you can make informed purchasing decisions and add the figures that are the best quality and the most meaningful to your personal collection. But before we get started, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell down below so you're notified when content goes live here. They say the rich get richer, but today we're going to determine how to get poorer by purchasing the right Hot Toys. So before I actually get started in ranking these top 25 bestsellers, I need to show you what the top 25 bestsellers actually are. This is according to Sideshow Collectibles website. This changes by day, it's very fluid. So as of me recording this video, these are the top 25 bestsellers. At number 25, we have the TIE Fighter Pilot. It's the number 24 bestseller, number 25 on my list. I don't think I'm going to be surprising anyone here with number 25 here because again, I'm not the biggest trooper guy. This is a pilot trooper, and while it does have a cool outfit with some cool armor and cool parts, I don't think the display is going to be all that exceptional to really be worthwhile and justifying it over the other figures that are on this list. If you're a big Star Wars collector and you really want to build that immersive Star Wars atmosphere, certainly the TIE Fighter Pilot could look very cool. I mean, we don't have a 1/6 scale TIE Fighter out there that I'm aware of, at least not from Hot Toys. So this one's going to fit in with the rest of your trooper collection. And if you have that type of display and you want to dedicate the space, go for it. But I just think there are so many other figures in the Star Wars universe alone that I think are more appealing and more integral to the overall story and to your collection than this one probably. But I'm not going to speak for everyone. There may be some people who just really love this design and the TIE Fighter Pilot in general. It's the best seller for a reason. I do know a lot of people want a TIE Fighter Pilot. It's been long overdue for a lot of people. And it could be something I think that could really round out a display, but it's not gonna bring so much life to your display that it can stand in its own right. It's an accessory, a complementary piece. And that's why I feel like it just doesn't really hold a candle to a lot of the others on this list. At number 24, we have the number 13 best-selling Hot Toy, and that's the exclusive Chopper C1 10P and BD1 Imperial Disguise. Look, as I'm not the biggest trooper collector, I'm also not the biggest droid collector. I have C3PO, I have R2-D2. I think I'm gonna get a K2SO. I had IG-11 at one point. I really like those figures because I feel like they're more important characters than these two specifically. That said, I do know there are a lot of people who really want a cute droid display, or again, building that immersive Star Wars display, building that world into your collection space. And I do think these two can do that. But I mean, for over $200, I just feel like there are a lot of competing priorities right now. And a lot of characters, again, that are more integral to a display than these two. And I just don't feel like there's really all that much here to really separate them from more important droids like R2-D2 or BB-8 or C3PO. Characters along those lines. Again, this is an exclusive set. They're still up for pre-order, which tells you something. Most people really, all of us kick in that FOMO and really start buying these. Not these two, so I think they're sitting for a long time for a reason. That said, they're somehow on the bestsellers list, so people do apparently want them. It's definitely a whole thing nonetheless, but I do think these two are just... I don't know. I just don't see that much exciting here. At number 23 on my list, we have the number 25 best-selling Hot Toy right now, and that's Clone Commander Wolf from the Clone Wars. A lot of people really, really want this figure. And this is a character, a trooper, a named trooper, I guess you could say, that people really do care about because Clone Wars is a huge part of Star Wars lore and history, and a lot of collectors really do love the Clone Wars series. I know I should get more into it. I watched the first season and couldn't really do it, but I know it gets better and better as the seasons progress, particularly season 7. But I think at the end of the day, while this trooper looks pretty cool, I just feel like there are a lot of troopers out there, a lot of clone commanders and clones out there, and I'm starting to feel the redundancy in that, but a lot of people don't feel that because this character is very important to them. For me, as a non-Clone Wars collector and Clone Wars watcher, I don't really see a ton of difference between this one and a lot of the other troopers, but again, I know I'm going to take some heat for that in the comments, and that is totally okay. Feel free to drop your comments down below. Please be nice about it, but other than that, I do think this trooper is just... It reminds me of all the other clone commanders. At number 22, we have the number 13 best-selling Hot Toy, and that's Darth Vader, the dueling effect version. Now, this was an exclusive figure that was sold at the Star Wars Celebration in Japan, and now it's up for pre-order. It was sold in Hong Kong as well. It's up for pre-order in the States on Sideshow. It is still up for PO, meaning you can still purchase it, and it's an exclusive figure again that probably should have sold out a lot quicker than it has, but still. Nonetheless, it's a very unique looking Darth Vader, certainly a variant, not accurate really to any film or TV show or anything like that because it's sort of a artistic type design meant to replicate what his suit would look like as lightsaber light reflects back onto it. To me, this is a very much an easy pass. Like, a lot of people really love this Vader just because it's unique and it's different from the other Vaders, but I just feel like it doesn't really separate really from the other Vaders in a way that I like. I feel like I like the look of the other Vaders and their the distinctions between them and the differences in the costume design. But this one just looks like graffiti Vader to me. I look at it and I think, I don't really see a lot here that makes me say that needs to be on my shelf immediately in my Star Wars display. Whereas when I look at other Darth Vaders, ones we're gonna see on this list, I say that looks incredible and that reminds me of Darth Vader. And at number 21 on my list, we have the Range Trooper from Andor. And it's actually the number 6 best-selling hot toy right now, which is pretty crazy, but not all that surprising to be honest. Troopers are very popular among collectors. People will buy multiple versions. And the Range Trooper does actually have somewhat of a cool design. I do like this. I like the Snow Troopers, I like the Range Troopers, and this guy has like a bazooka, right? This is pretty cool. I do like this. You got to get this interchangeable boots with the first edition exclusive, which is Time. So if you're looking at that, definitely try to jump on that if you want it. But I do think this is a cool design. This one I do think could have some presence on the shelf because of the fur overcoat and overall just the design and look of it. The red pops with the white pretty well. I do like how the Range Trooper looks. It's not going to belong in my collection. I think the Death Trooper, I want a reissue of that. That's what I would go for. The Death Trooper Specialist specifically. That's the one I want with the pauldron. But the Range Trooper, again, is a cool look. With that big-ass bazooka rocket launcher, I think that's pretty cool, and this could have some presence in a display. So for me, as someone who's not a Trooper guy, I recognize game recognizes game, right? So I do look at this and say, this is a pretty cool figure, and I do like the interchangeable boots. This is a good one, and I do think people are obviously picking this one up because it's unique, and it's pretty cool. At number 20, we have the Stormtrooper Cherry Blossom version, which is actually the number 7 bestseller on Sideshow right now for Hot Toys figures. And this one is actually somehow listed as sold out, but I'm including on this list because Sideshow does actually still have it listed as pre-order as well, even though you can't pre-order it with them. So I feel like I'm cheating if I don't put it on this list. So we're just gonna put it on there because it's listed as one of the best sellers. We have to roll with it. I want the list to be accurate, so we're gonna go with it for now. Stormtrooper Cherry Blossom version was one that actually took collectors by surprise as well. No one knew this one was coming. It's a unique design that Hot Toys seemingly created for the Star Wars celebration, and they sold exclusively elsewhere as well. I think this is actually a pretty cool figure. I'm going to surprise some people here. Trooper collecting is, again, not as much for me. I don't know how many times I can say that, but I got to reiterate it just so everyone knows. I do like the display base, although it's probably going to feel pretty cheap in hand. I would not buy this, let me be clear, but I do understand why Trooper collectors or people who want a Stormtrooper that's very unique looking could pick this up. This one does have a cool design. I love the cherry blossom look on the armor, and I think this one is just cool enough and just artistic enough to be worthy of a purchase. At number 19, we have K2SO from Andor, the current number 5 best-selling hot toy in Sideshow Collectibles. And this one is pretty cool, admittedly. I do think K2SO is one that I think is a really good figure, honestly. But the problem is I think there's just so many figures on this list that are that much cooler. I don't feel any negative emotions toward this one at all. I do think this is a very well done figure. You have USB light up to really light up the eyes this time, which is going to be crucial. And K2SO is a really funny, important character to the Star Wars lore. What he did in Rogue One is really important, sacrificing himself. And he's a very funny, likable character with a lot of presence on the shelf. This is the type of droid that I personally would go for. One that's a character that actually has some presence and even development and will really look cool on the shelf with a lot of quality display there in the die-cast components and overall the plastic sides as well that still look pretty die-cast and high quality. Paint applications are weathered, it looks fantastic, and that USB light up function for the eyes is absolutely killer. I love this figure. I'm picking it up as of now. Again, I'm not like overly crazy about it. I picked it up because I was hoping Andor would be a little bit better for me, and I'm still working through it. I'm just on episode 5, I think. I got to get through the rest of the season, but it just wasn't wowing me as much as the first season was, but I'm going to give it time and go through the rest. So K2SO, big part of Rogue One, big part of Andor apparently, and a really, really well done figure. So this one I think is fair in its spot. At number 18, we have the number 15 best-selling hot toy, and that's Daredevil from the Daredevil Born Again TV series on Disney+. I really like the Daredevil series. I actually was not a huge fan of the original series, the first 3 seasons. I always thought they were pretty good. Like I liked them. I'm just not like crazy about them like other people are, but it's also been a while since I watched them. It was college, I believe, when I watched them, and I was like, they were pretty good, right? But I was never crazy about them where I was like, oh my God, some of the best superhero content. But a lot of people feel differently. The new season, actually, I really, really liked. I really enjoyed it. I thought Daredevil was great. I thought Matt Murdock was really well portrayed. And I do think Kingpin was really, really well portrayed as well by Vincent D'Onofrio. So I really do like this character. And this suit doesn't appeal to me quite as much. I really hope that black suit ends up getting made if they end up using that one in future seasons. I guess only time will tell. This suit is pretty classic Daredevil to me, from my understanding of the character at least, and I do think it looks good overall. I don't quite see the likeness as closely as I would like to, but I think most people are probably going to end up using the cowl look anyway. But I guess it truly depends on what your preference in your display is going to be. Unmasked, I kind of see it. I see Charlie Cox a little bit, but not exactly to the degree that I think would be necessary for me to go crazy and buy this figure. Nonetheless, really good looking figure, really cool. I think it's going to satisfy a lot of Daredevil collectors who really want that ultimate Daredevil. And for now, this is probably the one to get until season 2 drops, and there'll be probably a better one. But nonetheless, good figure, just probably not for me. At number 17, we have the Attack of the Clones Episode 2 Obi-Wan figure, which is actually the number 10 best-selling hot toy right now. I really like this figure. I came around because originally I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this head sculpt. It looks like maybe a Clone Wars reuse, some sort of mishmash between that and the Obi-Wan television series. But this head sculpt does look new on the sculpted version, and I think the artisan version has obviously won me over as well. So I really actually like this figure. I do think they can improve the head sculpt, make it look a little bit younger. He looks a little bit too aged, but nonetheless, the sculpted hair looks good. You have seamless forearms, which are really a huge step in the right direction for Hot Toys that they should have been doing anyway. I like the outfit. I like the tailoring. I think the boots look fantastic. And again, you have a really good head sculpt here with room for improvement. I hope Hot Toys continues to refine this head sculpt, make it just a little bit younger, a little bit more accurate to episode 2. But nonetheless, I think even as is, collectors are going to be satisfied having an episode 2 Obi-Wan in their display. At number 16, we have the number 14 best-selling hot toy, and that is Poe Dameron from Star Wars The Force Awakens. People who know me know I'm a sequel apologist. I love episode 7. I love episode 9. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, I'm not crazy about. It's okay, but I really like Rise of Skywalker, and I love The Force Awakens. My favorite Star Wars movie, and I'm unapologetic about that. I really do enjoy them. This is a great head sculpt. Clearly looks like somewhat of a reuse from the Moon Knight or Mr. Knight head sculpt, and I think they did a great job here. Tailoring looks great. Love the actual suit, the pilot suit here, and I do really love Poe Dameron, so I think this one is definitely going to be coming home. I've already pre-ordered it, and I think it's going to fit in great with my other sequel trilogy figures. This is obviously not going to be for everyone because not everyone is a sequel trilogy fan. But if you have a BB-8 or you have a Rey or a Finn or a Kylo Ren, I think Poe Dameron could go really well with that type of display. I'm glad that they came back and made this. There clearly had to be something going on with Oscar Isaac's likeness, and now they got Moon Knight, the artisan version, and they got the Mr. Knight, and they decided to do Poe Dameron. So they got the rights now clearly, but I'm glad that they did this. It's better late than never. This looks great. I think objectively, this looks very close to Oscar Isaac. The sculpted hair still looks pretty good to me, but damn, I'm so happy to be adding a Poe Dameron because this guy is really integral to the sequel trilogy. And if you have any affinity towards Oscar Isaac or the character, I think he's worth it. At number 15, we have Cassian Andor from Rogue One, the number 4 best-selling hot toy right now on Sideshow Collectibles. I find that a little bit interesting, but I do think among collectors and diehard Star Wars fans, the Andor Season 2 hype is definitely pretty high right now. Among casual viewers, I think Andor is not the Star Wars show for everyone. The ratings certainly show that, but it does seem to be a very high-quality show, although for me, I'm on episode 5 and I'm really struggling with it. I'm finding it very boring, but I'm going to try to work my way through it and get through episode 12 because I heard it ends up really great. Nonetheless, Rogue One is a beloved film, and a lot of collectors really wanted this figure, and now we have it. Really cool looking figure, but I think at the end of the day, for me, I have yet to pre-order this one, even though I did POK2SO, because I just feel like this figure doesn't have that much excitement to me. It doesn't have that much toyetic, shelf presence, where I look at this one and say, it's a guy with a rifle and a Star Wars outfit, but it doesn't really scream all that much presence to me. But I think for this one, it's more about the character, right? You could say that about Nathan Drake or Joel from The Last of Us, or any character that's really important to people, and this is certainly one of those. Cassian Andor, great character, very well-written character, and I think this is one that's really going to help collectors satisfy that Rogue One collection itch and really build a really high-quality display with the characters that have been made already, like Chirrut and, of course, Jyn Erso and now K2SO and all that. So at number 14, we have the number 9 best-selling hot toy, and that's Scarecrow 2.0 from Batman Begins. Now, this is a figure that a lot of collectors really, really want. The Dark Knight line has been pretty much milked to all hell, but I'm not complaining because I really love this franchise and love these characters and these figures. So, I mean, for me, I think Scarecrow 2.0 is a really good figure. You have 2 different mask looks, which I think are really cool. A Cillian Murphy head sculpt that is stunning. It is very, very good. I hope it doesn't soften in final production. It was actually made by an outside source company, which is pretty cool, which I find very interesting for Hot Toys. But nonetheless, Great head sculpt to a young Cillian Murphy. You have the Scarecrow mask, which you totally can use if you would like. It's going to be hard to decide which to display. This is a very, very, very good figure, and I'm happy that collectors are getting it in hand. I do have a Dark Knight display, although I'm not the biggest Scarecrow guy. So for me, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to pick this one up yet, just because I have Bane, I have Joker, I'm going to have Batman eventually. I have Two-Face. I just don't know if this one's all that important to me. It would help me complete the line, so to speak, but I've never been as concerned with that. I want to get the characters that are meaningful to me. Nonetheless, very good tailoring, amazing head sculpt, amazing detail on the Scarecrow bag itself. This is just a really, really well done figure, and I'm so glad it's getting 2.0 and the collectors can get their hands on it, because it's going to be a really, really nice piece. At number 13, we have the number 23 best-selling hot toy. A little bit of a discrepancy there. We have Han Solo from Return of the Jedi. Now, those who follow my channel know that I shit all over this figure when it was originally announced, because I truly did not like the hair. I thought it looked like ass, but the more that I've looked at it over time, I do feel like I'm starting to soften on that approach. I do look at the hair and say, while it's not perfect, it's still pretty good. It does look a little voluminous, it does look a little bit bulky, but as I took some time to settle and reflect and say, okay, let's look at the film, let's look at the screenshots, let's look at the sculpted hair and see how we feel about it. I do think it could use a little bit of refinement. Nonetheless, it's still pretty good. The likeness, the paint applications are better than A New Hope, although for the longest time I thought A New Hope was still superior. I do think this is a new and improved head sculpt. Paint applications are strong. Hair, like I said, could use a little bit of work, looks a little bit wild, but nonetheless, it does look a little wiggish. But to me, that's kind of how Harrison Ford's hair looked in Return of the Jedi. You got the trench coat look, and of course the look without that, which is a little bit more classic to Han Solo. So for me, I do really like this figure, and the fact that we're getting a Han Solo at all deserves recognition and praise, because we really do need an updated Han Solo. We got A New Hope, and of course you have the older versions from the sequel trilogy, but most people want young Han, right? At number 12, we have the number 17 best-selling hot toy, and that is Darth Malgus from Star Wars Legends. I am a sucker for Star Wars Legends. I did not play the Old Republic. I played KOTOR 1 and 2. I did not play the Old Republic MMO, which is what this character is from. Very beefy, very badass, powerful character. Love his armor. Love his height, love his proportions, love the display base, the multiple display styles, the presence, the lightsaber USB, the lightning effects. Pretty cool figure, really high platform base. You're gonna have to be ready to display that one or use a different display base. This guy is awesome. He just looks too damn cool to not get if you're a Star Wars fan. So for me, again, not play the game, but I watched all the cutscenes, watched all the fights with Darth Malgus, watched his development, watched an explain video with him, which was actually pretty cool as well. This guy is just so cool. I'm gonna have Revan, Starkiller, Nihilus, and of course Malgus. I'm getting those Legends characters to build out that Legend display because they just look too cool. Perfect harmony. Number 11, we have the number 11 bestseller, and that is Jar Jar Binks from The Phantom Menace. Now, this one was a bit of a meme for a while. Jar Jar was hated among the fans when the prequel trilogy originally was seen in theaters, and now, of course, over time, collectors have softened their approach and said, okay, Jar Jar is actually pretty cool. We were wrong. Jar Jar we thought was sus, but he's actually not sus. He might be Jar Jar, but at the end of the day, Jar Jar is cool with us Star Wars fans. And I really like this figure. A silicone body, of course, the neck looks seamless. I don't know if it's actually silicone, but you have just a visible wrist joint. Everything else is pretty cool. Two different looks with a poppable tongue in there, which is pretty cool, and a different head sculpt that you can pop on there. Very cool, nice piece. I really like this a lot. It's very unique looking. I think it's going to look great in a Star Wars display. Again, Jar Jar, not the most development, but a very integral character to the prequel trilogy that is going to be very recognizable. Love him or hate him, infamous or not, Jar Jar is a very important character in the prequel trilogy, and I do think he's very recognizable. At number 10, we have the number 16 bestseller, and that is Deadpool, the battling version from Deadpool 3. I really like this figure a lot. I have the clean version, and I do actually prefer that one, but I do think this one comes with a lot of unique accessories that are certainly worthwhile. Wolverine's bones and claws, which I think are pretty cool, an LED-powered light-up display base for the TVA light-up function, which I think is pretty cool. Of course, a head sculpt, which is the biggest and most important factor, a half-mass head sculpt, which is also really important. And again, I think this is just set up for using those accessories that are unique to the Bye 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 scene, which he wasn't really battle damage in that scene. This would have better gone with the clean version. Still, nonetheless, if you want all of it, you have to get both. And I do think the battle damage is actually pretty cool. He's a weathered, dusty Deadpool, basically, but a lot cooler looking than dusty Deadpool. And of course, I think the accessories are the worthwhile inclusion here. If you're only going to get one, I think it truly comes down to whether you prefer a battle damage figure or a clean one. I prefer the clean one, at least in this specific case, but I do think this Deadpool is very cool nonetheless. And if you don't already have one, I could absolutely see you pick this one up. If you want to alternate your display and put the head sculpt in. If you don't care about the head sculpt, maybe just go with the clean if you want the gold guns. But if you really want that head sculpt and you want that battle damage dirty look with the Wolverine bones and claws, you want that bye recreation, then you probably got to go this battling Deadpool, and it's a pretty good option. At number 9, we have the number 2 best-selling hot toy, and that's Darth Nihilus from KOTOR 2, Star Wars Legends. I really love this character, and I'm super happy that Darth Nihilus got made. We all predicted it was just a matter of time when they opened the floodgates, and they said, okay, we're doing Revan, we're doing Starkiller. I said, okay, when's Nihilus, right? And they actually put out Malgus, at least for pre-order, before Nihilus, and Nihilus is a very popular character because KOTOR Knights of the Old Republic 2 is a very popular video game. KOTOR 1 probably more so, but KOTOR 2 still has its place among fans. So this Nihilus looks great. I know some people didn't like the ears or the actual fabric, but the actual wires in the fabric are really going to allow for some dynamic posing and some really cool posing on the shelf to make this guy pop. The ears still look fine to me. Some people don't love the ears and the hood, but the shape of it is not, I feel, all that different from the video game from what I remember and the references that I saw. This looks super cool. Super powerful dark side character. This is a really cool figure. This Darth Nihilus, I think, really powerful Sith, really badass look. I think, again, I'm all about the presence in the character, and this figure has both of those. So for me, Darth Nihilus is one that I think needs to come home. Perfect harmony once again. And number 8, we have the number 8 bestseller. That is the Hot Toys Grogu life size from The Mandalorian. Now, this for me is a really exciting figure. Not a lot of collectors seem to be too excited about this one just because Hot Toys already did a life size figure, but that one was over $400. This one is $270, and this one comes with a bag. You can display him with a bag. You can carry him in a bag. He also looks great. No adjustable ears this time, swappable ears. You don't need them. That was never a real thing that collectors needed. That visible seam was not worth swapping the ears. And of course, I think the paint applications and the likeness to Grogu are far better this time than they were on the original. This is very much a 2.0 with improved hair, improved sculpting, improved paint applications, and a carrying bag where you could carry this young baby around and show him off to all the ladies in your local town. Pretty cool. I think that's going to go well for you. I think this Grogu is absolutely worth a buy. I've already pre-ordered it with Comic Concepts. I am super excited about it. Can't wait to get this guy in. I think I'm going to hang him somewhere from like a nail, put him in the bag and have the bag hanging somewhere. I think that's going to be worthwhile. It's going to look great in the display. Really just have that shelf presence, or maybe put him falling out of the bag in a display case, something like that. I think this guy is going to look super cool. Grogu he's the best. And I think this figure just looks like a vast improvement upon the last version. I think it's way better than the Sideshow statue too. At number 7, we have the number 21 best-selling hot toy, and that is Chewbacca with disassembled C-3PO from Empire Strikes Back. This is an awesome figure. Now, collectors have gone through a lot of trauma with Chewbacca. The Force Awakens Chewbacca is an absolute travesty, crime against humanity, whereas A New Hope is a great figure, but Force Awakens really left a bad taste in collectors' mouths, and that was the last Chewbacca that we actually got for pre-order and release. This one, the prototype at least, looks fantastic. Let's hope the final product comes out as good, but the likeness, the hair coloring, the rooting of it, I guess it is, if it is rooted, I guess you could say it's glued on. It's fur, it looks fantastic. It is fur hair, right? I really, really like this. I think it looks great. I think this could absolutely be a Chewbacca, a definitive version for other collectors. I don't think you're even going to need another one if this comes out looking this good. It's going to be incredible. The paint applications overall are fantastic. The fur looks great. I love how this looks. This guy is just so good, and Chewbacca is such an important part of a Star Wars display, particularly with Han. So gotta have this guy. At number 6, we have the number 3 best-selling hot toy, and that is Papa Palpatine Darth Sidious from Episode 3. This is the Palpatine that I have been waiting for a long time. Long have I waited for this Palpatine, and it is finally here, and this one is already on pre-order. Trust me, guys, this one is coming home. I really wanted a Chancellor Palpatine, which you get with this figure, or you could display him as Darth Sidious, which is also super cool because this is the look that he actually has when Anakin becomes Darth Vader, and he sort of crowns him as his apprentice, which is really, really cool. This is I think a definitive look for the character. You have the Return of the Jedi with the throne, which is also very, very good and people's favorite ultimately, but I think this one is going to become people's new favorite just because the updated paint applications, the overall tailoring on the new robes, and the outfit looks fantastic. This has that very Palpatine look, and you can also make it Chancellor Palpatine, which is fantastic. That fight with Mace is just incredible. Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? Love that. That is one of the coldest lines in Star Wars. He knew, he was like, I don't think you know who you're talking to. And I think it was pretty great with that line. That delivery was fantastic. Nonetheless, Papa Palpatine is here. I'm all about it. This guy's coming home. At number 5, we have the number 20 best-selling hot toy, and that is Feral Predator. Now, this one is admittedly kind of cheating. It's technically released. I actually have it in my collection behind me, but on Sideshow Collectibles, it's still up for pre-order because it is not shipped to the United States just yet. At least it hasn't arrived just yet. So for me, having this figure in hand with confirmation bias, it is incredible. This is one of the best hot toys I've ever seen. I will say a couple of the hands are the wrong painted color, which is not fantastic. But the rest of the figure, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely incredible. The rubber hair, of course, the seamless torso, which they've updated, and of course the joints, which are visible, but you can hide them pretty effectively and they blend into the skin pretty well. The accessories, this guy is just awesome. This Feral Predator is so well done. A cool display base, lots of cool weaponry, the insane amount of presence on the shelf. I love this Predator. To me, it's the best Predator. I love this Predator. I love the Prey film. It's my favorite Predator film. So for me, this guy had to come home, and I'm so happy to have him in my display. Trust me, when you get this guy in, you're going to see just how exceptional he actually is. And I think you're going to be blown away. At number 4, we have the number 18 best-selling hot toy, and it's Darth Vader Battle Damage from The Force Unleashed. Now, this figure took the collecting world by storm when it was announced because it's such a unique Darth Vader. This thing has a sculpted cape and also a fabric cape if you want to put the regular cape on there, but a sculpted cape which has an amazing design and flow to it. Of course, multiple looks here. You can put different head sculpts on there, Battle Damage with Hayden Christensen showing half mask, full mask if you want, or Hayden Christensen showing with its full likeness. This thing is incredible. The dynamism that it offers, the display that it offers, how unique it is incredible. Look at the battle damage skin, the robotic components, the USB light up functions. This thing is just incredible. The amount of presence it's going to have in a Star Wars display is remarkable. So this is the Darth Vader that I think a lot of collectors are going to feel the need to own, including myself, because it's just too unique. It's just too presence commanding. It's just too awesome to not have in your display. And what you can do with it, so many different things. I love the full helmet look, as you can see in this picture. All of it looks fantastic. This guy is just, oh my God, it's incredible. It's still Darth Vader. I played Force Unleashed. I really loved it. It was a great game. And even if you haven't played it, you have a battle damage Darth Vader, which is super cool. The base is cool. This guy just has so much going for it. It's a work of art, really. At number 3, this one was difficult, but I had to put the number 1 bestseller at number 3 here, right ahead of the Battle Damage Vader, because I just think this one has a ton of presence and it's a little bit more iconic. This is Darth Vader in his very first moments when you see him in the prequel trilogy becoming Darth Vader in the suited look, in the armored look, taking on that mantle of Darth Vader. You get the table, which you can display with the droids to have him really becoming the Sith Lord that we all know and love. And this thing is just awesome. It's about $500, so you got the table with the LED light up function. It rotates 90 degrees. You got the droids, which are probably going to plug in via acrylic pole. You can display him with the Hayden Christensen burn head sculpt, or you can display him with the Darth Vader helmet on there, which is pretty cool as well. Nonetheless, you can do so much with this guy. The presence it commands, the suit is just amazing. I love that it's nylon instead of pleather this time. It's going to have more longevity, which is really going to make collectors happy because you don't have to worry about that degradation over time. And just the USB powered light up, the table. This guy has so much presence. It's so iconic. This is Darth Vader becoming Darth Vader on a table. Dude, this is just amazing. At number 2, we have the number 22 best-selling hot toy. It's the T800 2.0, and this may be where my bias starts to show. I am a huge Terminator 2 fan. I really enjoyed Terminator 1, but Terminator 2 is one of the best films ever made. Arnold Schwarzenegger is possibly my favorite actor of all time, probably is, honestly, and I really do like the look of this figure. The battle damage version, the DX13 2.0, if you will, is fantastic. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be that one, but as far as the best sellers right now, this one's in there, the other one is not, and I do think this is probably the more iconic look, although not the better figure. This is clean Arnold. You can of course display him with the shotgun and other weaponry, of course the Gatling gun as well. This thing is just awesome. This is going to be a super well done, cool figure, and I think this is going to be one that collectors need in their display if you're a Terminator fan. Got the Rose box with that iconic scene, the showdown with the T-1000, where you don't know who's good, who's bad. Really well done there. Love that. And this is just a really cool figure. Updated head sculpt, updated likeness and paint applications. Not a great display base, but still gets the job done. Genuine leather clothing. Let's not forget about that. I don't know how I forgot about that one. Genuine leather outfit. It is awesome. This guy has a swappable arm there with the Terminator arm. This is incredible. And I promise you guys, if you love Terminator and you need this version, I don't know how you're going to get anything better anytime soon. This is just remarkable. And at number 1, the current number 19 best-selling hot toy, we have Wolverine from Deadpool 3. I have to be realistic and fair about this one. This Wolverine is exceptional. I do hope the head sculpt comes out anywhere close to as good as this prototype, because this prototype is remarkable art. Of course, you have Wolverine in his yellow and blue as iconic colors, which you can display with the mask or without the mask. But if this head sculpt comes out anywhere close to this one, I think you're crazy to not use this one, unless you want to alternate. But this head sculpt is so good. Hugh Jackman is so iconic as the character. How do you leave it in the box? How do you leave that beautiful head sculpt in the box unless you're going to alternate and change it out over time? That mask version is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, but Hugh Jackman with the likeness there, that is remarkable. That is incredible, and that's why it's number 1 on this list. It's iconic, it's in a great $1 billion film, it's got a great Hugh Jackman head sculpt, it's got the right color scheme, you can display it with the mask, the display base is cool, you can display it sleeveless with the silicone arms. Really cool. This guy has it all. And Hot Toys pulled no punches with this Wolverine. This thing is just amazing. They pulled out all the stops. This is just incredible. I think this is going to be a figure of the year contender when it actually releases. All right, guys, so let's recap my picks right here of the top 25 best-selling Hot Toys right now. TIE Fighter Pilot at 25. At 24, we have the droids, of course, the BD-1 Imperial and the C-110P. We have the Clone Commander Wolf at 23, the Dueling Effects Darth Vader at 22, Andor Range Trooper at 21, Cherry Blossom Stormtrooper at 20, K2SO at 19, Daredevil at 18, 17 is Obi-Wan from Episode 2, Poe Dameron at 16 from Force Awakens, 15 Cassian Andor from Rogue One, 14 is Scarecrow, 13 is the Han Solo from Return of the Jedi, you have Darth Malgus at 12 from Legends, 11 is Jar Jar from Phantom Menace, 10 is Battle Damage or Battling Version Deadpool, 9 is Darth Nihilus from Legends, 8 is Grogu in a bag, 7 is Chewbacca, 6 is the Palpatine from Episode 3, and a 5 is Feral Predator, 4 is Battle Damage Darth Vader, 3 is Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader, 2 is T-800 2.0, and at number 1, as I just mentioned, the Wolverine from Deadpool 3. This list is full of fire. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I think this was a fun exercise. We got to rank the hottest of Hot Toys, the top 25 best-selling Hot Toys right now, and I had a good time, so thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe to the channel down below, and click the notification bell as well so you don't miss any content when it goes live here. If you agree with my list, if you disagree, let me know where that is, and we can talk about that in the comments section. I really enjoy you guys joining me for these videos. I really enjoy engaging with this community in this hobby in this way, and making these fun videos for you guys. So thank you so much for the support as always, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Peace out. Bye.